Tonight on DC News Now at 9, justice for the family of a beloved boxer gunned down in a DC parking garage.
He was more than a grandson. He was a son to me.
His two accused killers in court today. We're live with the details.
A local college now limiting where students can protest. The reason for this controversial move.
The back and forth continues over bringing a new sports arena to Northern Virginia. How Monumental's CEO is defending the move to skeptics.
Heading into your Friday, temperatures back in the 70s. How long does it last? Details in a moment.
The path for pot shops is getting a little less hazy. The framework and timeline lawmakers are working on.
We begin tonight at 9 with breaking news out of Prince George's County. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Susan Tran in for Thusmeen Mahfouz. There's an urgent search happening right now for a person of interest. Take a look at your screen. Police believe this person may be connected with two separate stabbings along with two crashes tonight.
We're told one of the stabbings was in Lanham, the other in Landover. Police believe this person may also have hit two pedestrians while driving a dark-colored sedan. We're expecting a news conference from police shortly. We'll be there and bring it to you live here with the latest. Meanwhile, all new tonight, two men are facing charges in the murder of a local boxer. Anar Windgate was shot to death back in November. His body found in a parking garage in D.C.'s Shaw neighborhood. Our Mariel Carbone is live outside the courthouse in Northwest. And Mariel, you spoke to Windgate's family. They're still trying to make sense of this tragedy.
Yeah, they are, Chris. But today in court, everything that happened becoming a little bit more clear for that family. Prosecutors laying out exactly what they believe happened to Windgate the night he was murdered, using two different arrest affidavits and painting a timeline of snapshots through surveillance footage.
I really miss him, but today is special in a way. There's no finality to it, but at least I have hope in the process.
For Lester Windgate, grandfather of 24-year-old Anar Windgate, sitting in court today brought mixed emotions.
He was my grandson, but he was more than a grandson. He was a son to me.
Windgate, a professional boxer, was shot to death in this Shaw parking garage on November 19th. Thursday, 20-year-old Javon Thomas and 19-year-old LeVar Hunter were arraigned in court, charged with his murder.
We're moving on towards getting some kind of justice.
According to court documents, the homicide was all caught on surveillance footage inside the parking garage. Detectives identifying this person as Hunter and this person as Thomas. Witnesses say the two men planned to rob Windgate of his firearm. Prosecutors argued this image shows Hunter taking a shooting stance before firing one shot at Windgate. They say Thomas is then seen grabbing something from Windgate's waistband.
I wasn't with him for Christmas. I wasn't with him for New Year's. I will never be with my child again.
Delphina Windgate, Anar Windgate's mother, watched the court proceeding from home.
That I hope they get everything that's coming to her.
She says the arrests bring some comfort as she continues to search for closure.
The loving, funny beast he was. They should remember that about him.
And attorneys for Hunter and Thomas argued in court today that the way police identified those two men, using those grainy surveillance photos and videos, and then connecting the men using social media and facial recognition software, they say that that can often lead to wrongful convictions. And they also argued self-defense in this case, but the judge did not buy that. Both men are being held with no bond until their next court date. That is set for February 2nd. Reporting live from the courthouse tonight, I'm Mariel Carbone, DC News Now.
A lot of new information there, Mariel. Thank you. All right, let's turn to the forecast now, and we're certainly enjoying this bit of a warm-up in January.
Oh, yeah. Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb is joining us now, and we're going to hit close to 70s in January.
Yeah, I was just about to send Mariel a text like, where's your coat? But I forgot that, she doesn't really need it out there, right? It's very mild across the region with visibility an issue, though. I just stepped out, very mild across the region where we still have middle 60s tonight, but the visibility is slowly going down because we have so much much moisture that's in the upper atmosphere across the region. You have some spots, I mean, we are down to a mile where we're in front of you, but no advisory has been put in place across the DMV. And so that's going to be a concern for your early morning commute. Here's the center of low pressure. It's causing isolated raindrops right now up and down the East Coast. Not a huge concern here across the DMV. It's very light in nature, and it's really mist that we're seeing across portions of the suburbs of DC, southeast and northwest, and even Montgomery County. Very light. Most of us are sitting on the dry side. No big concerns with this rainfall, but I am going to leave misty conditions in the forecast really until about 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Look at our hour by hour. Tomorrow morning, we're actually talking about a warm up overnight starting around 3 a.m. By 9 o'clock, stepping out the door, we're still into the middle 50s. Folks, we're headed for the 70s, near record-breaking temperatures for middle to late January. I have your full forecast coming up.
Just in at 9, a staff member at Houston Elementary School in D.C. is on leave over allegations of misconduct. The school system would not confirm details of the accusations, but say that children were not involved. They say the staff member is on leave while the investigation continues. We are now learning more about yesterday's deadly shooting in D.C. when a crisis intervention officer shot and killed a man having a mental health crisis.
And police now say that officer is a 31-year veteran of the department. The man killed is Clifford Brooks. That situation unfolded over hours yesterday morning, but hit a turning point when police said the 41-year-old attacked a paramedic, transporting him to a hospital in an ambulance. Police tried using pepper spray, but they say Brooks eventually came at the officers with some sort of metal object, and an officer then shot and killed him. He is now on administrative leave while this investigation continues.
We're now hearing from the woman who found a toddler abandoned alone at an apartment complex in Alexandria, Virginia. Now, the parents, they have been identified.
The little girl is now with Child Protective Services, but there's still a lot of questions tonight. DC News Now's Haley Milon walks us through exactly what happened.
That woman, Fatima Rahali, she lives in this apartment complex. She was outside here in the parking lot last night when she says she saw a white small SUV pull up here in the parking lot. The driver stopped, opened the door, and left the baby on the pavement before closing the door and again driving off.
And put the baby and just drive through.
Fatima Rahali says she couldn't believe her eyes when she saw a white SUV pull up, the driver leaving a little girl on the pavement. Police say she is no older than 2.
She was just holding me here, playing with my zipper, and I give her my phone too. And she seemed like she's really, have some connection between them. I never have babies, and I never really heard. It was the first time I heard the baby.
Fatima says she stood outside with the little girl for hours. Police since located the girl's family and say that the family is cooperating and assisting with the investigation. They say the little girl is doing well and in CPS custody at the moment. Fatima and police want to figure out who the driver was and why the child was left.
She needs love. She need to find her parents.
Neighbors in the complex say they've never seen her before. Fatima says she's just glad she was there at the right moment to take care of the little girl.
I feel lucky when I grab her because, it was just a love too between us.
Now, this is a joint investigation with both Alexandria City Police and Child Protective Services. Police say that the family is cooperating and even assisting with the investigation. They say no one's been charged as of now, but we'll keep you on top of the very latest. In Alexandria, I'm Haley Milon, DC News Now.
Staying in Alexandria, we're taking a look at the continued push to move the Capitals and Wizards to Potomac Yard. The city just wrapped up a listening session where proponents talked about the potential benefits of the project. DC News Now's Max Marcilla listened in on the meeting, and Max, Monumental CEO is really doubling down on his support. So what does that mean for Virginia?
Well, it means this project is far from a done deal, but a lot of support and a strong message of support from Monumental Sports CEO, and coming in the form of a lengthy letter. More on that in just a moment. But despite tonight's listening session and all the pros of the project discussed, the opposition is still standing firm. This $2 billion project to build a new entertainment district in Potomac Yard, including a new home for DC's pro basketball and hockey teams in Virginia, is the talk of the town.
This is not just an arena.
Tonight, the second of 4 listening sessions hosted by the city. This one included a number of housing leaders, Monumental Sports, the proposed developers, and more. The discussion surrounded what this could mean for housing in the city.
This project alone will bring $50 to $60 million in that 1% dedicated meals tax for affordable housing.
As Alexandria outlines the benefits of the plan, Ted Leonsis, the CEO of Monumental Sports, is doing the same. In a lengthy letter published this morning, he raved about the project's potential and shot down criticism, writing at one point in the DMV, "If one wins, we all win," a rebuttal to many DC fans and residents who feel the district is getting the short end of the stick. And then he called the argument that arenas and stadiums don't provide economic benefit simply illogical.
There's still a lot of public frustration.
But this comes just one night after the Coalition to Stop the Arena at Potomac Yard held its own virtual discussion. Tonight, we spoke by phone with Shannon Curtis, who's on the board of the organization.
I know we've kind of beat this drum a lot, but I think there's just a huge number of unanswered questions.
And one of those unanswered questions that Curtis says needs to be answered first by lawmakers in Richmond is how exactly the metro will be funded. She says, and it's been pretty clear, that this project will have to come with some form of transportation improvement and funding. And considering the size of the Potomac Yard Metro Station, that's definitely the place to start. Reporting live in the newsroom, Max Marcilla, DC News Now. Back to you.
All right, a lot of details to sift through, Max. Thank you. There could soon be pot shops in Virginia. There are plans moving forward in the General Assembly. Now, you might remember 3 years ago, lawmakers legalized for people to have marijuana but not sell it. The Senate subcommittee has approved a bill to allow for 400 stores to open at the beginning of 2025, but it still has several hurdles to clear before heading over to Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin's desk. And he has said that he's not interested in legalizing the sale of cannabis. Advocates say there needs to be an outline in place to give local growers and potential businesses a head start.
My bill is certainly want to provide a framework for Virginians and small business owners and those who want to start a business in the cannabis industry to have a real opportunity without being drowned out by the big guys.
It is important to note, though, even if recreational marijuana is legalized, all those local communities can still vote to keep any shops out of their communities.
All right, over to sports now. The Washington Wizards making a major mid-season move. This just hours before they tipped off at home against the Utah Jazz. Wes Unseld Jr. no longer the team's head coach. He's been reassigned to a front office advisory role. Team making that announcement today. Now, during his 2.5 seasons with the team, Unseld Jr. won 77 games and lost 130. The Wizards have named assistant Brian Keefe as interim head coach for the remainder of the season. Now, this actually marks the 5th recent head coaching change among Washington's professional teams. Capitals, Spirit, DC United, and Commanders, of course, also making a switch at the head coach position in just the past calendar year. Our sports director, Derek Forrest, have much more tonight on Game Night at 11 o'clock.
Now let's talk about the Ravens and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship in Baltimore on Sunday. If you want to be there at the stadium for this big game, you're going to have to dish out some serious cash. On StubHub, the cheapest tickets in the house, you're going to be paying more than $400. And as you can imagine, that's way up there in the nosebleed section. The most expensive seat costs more than $1,500 just behind the visitors' side bench. So not even home side. You got to go on the opposite side.
And sitting the T-Swift, priceless.